Cracking the code of silence on the streets. Crimes across Shreveport are going unsolved because eyewitnesses refuse to rat out the bad guys to tell police what they know.
It's what's known as the no snitch code, and it means criminals are able to commit more crimes without the fear of ever being caught.
And as KSLA and News 12's Troy Washington found out, cracking the code of silence is about fear and fallout.
I know why we don't tell it. Because guess what? We have to sleep around this and sometimes we sleep outdoors and we might not wake up.
Silence seems to have blanketed crime-filled neighborhoods, casting a dark shadow that spans entire blocks and divides neighborhoods, reaching into backyards and down dark alleys.
You don't snitch.
Crimes left unsolved simply because people are obeying their allegiance to the streets.
Someone kills your family member and people know it and don't say anything. Where is that okay? It's not okay.
The numbers are through the roof. Criminals committing crimes getting off the hook each year because of the community's choice to hold their tongues.
And they'll call each other police, where that's the big cut down. Oh, you don't want to ever be called that.
It's promoted in music.
Snitches got me couch.
Even law enforcement has caught on to the code of silence that reigns.
It is as ridiculous as it sounds. You know, your best friend just got killed in front of you. You know exactly who did it, but you ain't gonna say something? I mean, it's absolutely redonkulous. I'll never understand. All right, so look at this house here, and you'll be able to see some of the bullet holes right there.
Corporal Brad Sotek says he's seen it all in the Shreveport neighborhood of Queensboro.
I can literally go down to each house and go, I've been to this house for this thing, and this house for this thing, and this house for this thing, and dead person here, and dead babies there, and a fight here. And
in nearly 12 years of patrol, Corporal Sotek says his eyes have been opened to the cryptic code of the streets.
So this is the little dope house right here. These guys sit out here and they sell dope out of this house. Right here, this one where this guy's squatting down, see, watching. He's gonna get up, he's gonna go inside. So he's gonna go in and tell everybody.
There seems to be an unwritten rule of see no evil, hear no evil, and speak no evil.
That's the other term is the word on the street is, because that's true. Everybody in the neighborhood knows exactly what happened. When you ask them, why don't you want to be involved? They have no answer. They just look at you with a blank stare.
Commissioner Gerald Bowman says withholding information from law enforcement only delays crimes being solved and fuels the wrong fire.
The person who does that also gains a sense of energy from knowing that, hey, I can do this and get away with it. I grabbed his hand and I asked him first, I said, do you believe in God?
In July, Bowman found himself springing into action after a man was shot down the street from his Queensboro home.
His hand was like this, so I was able to see something sticking up from my driveway. So I just ran down here then, and there he was.
Bowman called 911 for the victim, who was later identified as 23-year-old Arthur McCray, and held his hand until help arrived. But it alarms him that 15 shots rang out and nobody claims to have heard a thing.
Anyone seen associating with leisurely with the police is often labeled as a snitch.
The intimidation of the word alone is enough to keep mouths closed, and the fear of what could follow if they tell keeps them quiet.
There's a real fear of retaliation.
And they're afraid someone's going to come after them and hurt them. I mean, that's a legitimate concern. I mean, I'm not going to pretend that that's imaginary, because it is real.
The fear of being labeled a snitch proves too much of a gamble for some, but there are others who see things differently.
Snitches really don't get stitches anymore. Snitches get rewarded.
That's the message that police hope will seep into the minds of those afraid of the stereotype.
Even if it's just you're chasing a rob or something, a look or a nod, it makes all the difference.
Those who know every corner and every back street of the most notorious neighborhoods in Shreveport even believe change is necessary.
I'm not just a bystander or a witness of it. I am one of those ones that get out in the front line and we'll go shoot out some broad daylight.
Although this person doesn't want his identity revealed, he says the first step to cracking the code is understanding the loyalty aspect of not snitching.
Who they loyal to?
You know what I mean? You can't be loyal to something that's not loyal to you.
He says showing loyalty towards criminals just creates more crime.
It's real, it does happen. We're not going to downplay it, but we're not going to settle for that.
Even the promise of money and remaining anonymous through programs like Crime Stoppers still isn't enough for most tipsters.
Money makes the world go round to some people. People have called Crime Stoppers, and if the reward wasn't high enough, they said, well, I'll just keep my information.
Money is a good incentive, but trust is what's needed to remove fear.
Everybody knows, just like any profession, there's bad, police, fireman, lawyer, doctor, school teacher. I mean, just name the profession. There's the odd bad apple. I don't know that you'll ever crack the code. Like, I don't even know that it's a code when it's just like, there's a wall here. We haven't figured out how to get around it. Every once in a while, somebody will climb over it.
One thing is for certain, silence won't bring solutions. Police say calling those who bow to the code snitches doesn't just cause stitches. It also leaves an open wound for those who are trying to heal their communities.
The only way that's going to change is when people get sick and tired of being prisoners in their own house and in their own neighborhood. And they start going, well, we may have to fight the fight.
In Shreveport, Troy Washington, KSLA News 12.
Police believe that if they could erase the stigma that snitching always comes back in a negative way, progress can be made, meaning more leads and arrests that ultimately mean safer streets.
I was just screaming her name.